Okay, I'll go ahead and call the special meeting for Monday, September 12th to order. Begin with a roll call, please.
Roll call. Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Present?
Councilmember Jennings.
Here.
Councilmember Canes.
Here.
Councilmember Miller.
Here.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Would like to invite all who wish to do so to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll entertain a motion to excuse Mayor Garrett.
Motion to excuse Mayor Garrett.
Support.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Roll call. Councilmember Jennings.
Yes.
Councilmember Canes.
Yes.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I am muted. I don't know what happened.
We're going to take a timeout. It's about a 10-second delay.
Whoever is on the iPad, if they can shut their, or put their mute on. Whoever is on the iPad, if they can shut their, or put their mute on. On the iPad, if they can shut their mute on.
You're not on the Zoom, are you? We good to go?
Okay, try it now.
Okay. Test. Will I echo?
No echo.
Okay, can the people on Zoom hear us? Because I got a text saying they couldn't hear.
Yeah.
No, they can't. So this is a next different one.
I don't know what is. Mhm.
Chris, can you go ahead and see if she can?
Go ahead, okay.
Yeah, try it.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda. Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, if there's no discussion, roll call, please.
Councilmember Canes.
Yes.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, next we'll move into public comment. This will be public comment for items that are on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, and just a reminder that it's not a discussion. It's an opportunity for you to make your comments, and council members can respond at a later point if they so desire. So is there anybody who wishes to talk about any of the issues that are on the agenda? If anybody on Zoom wants to make public comment, please raise your hand.
Let me type that in.
What's that?
Let me type that into them because they still can't hear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're still saying no audio.
I don't have, Debbie Holtman.
Okay, ready, Kella?
Lisa Bullard.
Okay, go ahead, Debbie.
I don't have a comment. I have a couple questions because I was at the last meeting, so I don't know when to ask my questions because I would like an answer. And it's regarding the house in the woods, because I was here last month when there was a $120,000 offer and a full offer. And I just would like I have some questions about the offers and where we're headed from here. So when do I do that?
This would be now, you could ask your questions now, and then council members can address it when we get to that topic.
Okay, so my question is, one of my questions is, why did we not accept the full price offer? And what are we hoping, moving forward, what are we hoping to look for in an offer? Those are my questions.
Thank you.
So when you guys discuss it, then I won't be able to ask any questions furthermore?
Correct.
Is that correct? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Do we have anybody on Zoom?
No hands raised.
All right, then we will move on to the action request. The first action request is regarding a 24-inch storm sewer repair on Wiltshire between Santa Barbara and Bloomfield. And I believe our city administrator will introduce that one.
First of all, I would just like to apologize for the echo that you're hearing. I'm furiously working here trying to figure out what's going on and cannot figure that out at this moment. So going to our storm sewer, what we have before us is a recommendation. Basically, there is a 24-inch storm sewer on Wiltshire between, trying to quote myself here, Santa Barbara and Bloomfield, that needs to be repaired there. It's a 15-foot deep storm sewer line, so it's something that will have to be dug up and redone. And there potentially may be some money left over from MEDC from a grant that we had for storm sewer work. And we're trying to utilize that money if we can. But there is a quote before you tonight utilizing the same company that is doing the work right now to be able to put that in for us and get it done. There is roughly a, did he say 20?
40 feet wide.
40 feet or 40
Long.
foot long section in there that is partially collapsed. So they would have to dig that up and replace that or repair it. And the rest of it would be lined. So these are the costs that are before you to be able to do that, and we're asking for a motion to approve that. Potentially using any MEDC grant funds that might be left, otherwise the city would have to pay for that completely out of its sewer fund, is that correct? Yes, or the bond, yeah.
And would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the additional expense for the 24 foot sewer repair on Wiltshire by DVM and utilize the remaining $50,000 MEDC fund, grant fund to cover to cover a portion of this expense if applicable.
Yes, if there are funds left, yep.
You want to add a not to exceed
Not to exceed,
$134,177.
okay, and not to exceed $134,000 and $177.50.
Have a second?
Second.
And moved and seconded. Any discussion? One thing that I would add is it will require that 40-foot section of Wiltshire to be broken up and because they got to get under it to replace that section of the line. So that unfortunately is one of the new streets that was just repaved. So it'll have a 40-foot patch on it. So but that's included in the 134,000. We talked about this earlier in the study session. Any additional questions, concerns, issues?
No, just for everyone's edification, Giffords Webster was here during the study session, so he did talk about it.
Yeah, and as the city administrator said, this is DVM is the proposed company who did go through a competitive bidding process for this project, which the project that actually found the issue. So it has been competitively bid from the onset, and we're just using them, proposing to use them to do the repair. Okay, there's no other comments. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Canes.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on now to the House in the Woods offer. Again, have our city administrator begin by introducing the issue.
Yes, we do have several offers now on the House in the Woods property. The first offer is for $120,000 cash. Proof of funds have been provided. This offer intends to build 2 houses and is subject to due diligence of the property. Offer number 2 is for $150,000 cash. Proof of funds were provided. Individual plans on building 4 to 6 houses subject to due diligence of the property. And offer 3 is $155,000 cash. Proof of funds provided. Individual lives on Morningside Plaza and his property backs up to the property. And the intended use for the House in the Woods property would be to keep it as or to make it a nature preserve and not develop it. And it's not contingent upon any survey or due diligence of the property. Further development of the property and any kind of development would require building permits and have to conform with existing building requirements. And that all parties are aware that any accepted offer by council must be approved by the city attorney as far as the documents go. So Mr. Root is here with us tonight, and I will let him speak to that a little bit further.
Okay, John Root, Williams Realty, good evening, council. I hope this answers a few questions for our folks that are here today. Yes, in answer to Susan's presentation, she did it very well. We have 3 offers on the property. We had 2 offers the last time that I was here. They was tabled. Both offers were rejected. Tabled. The one party who came in here initially with a $100,000 offer made up their offer to 120. The second offer made an initial offer of $160,000, or excuse me, $150,000. And it is subject to due diligence of the property. Their intent is to build 4 to 6 homes on the property. Offer number 3 came in over the weekend. I worked on this yesterday, as a matter of fact. This offer is $155,000. It's from a resident who lives on Morningside Plaza. As indicated, the property backs up to the, his house backs up to the property. And his intent would be leave it as is, have it as a nature preserve, and no development of the property whatsoever. At least that's his plans now, what has been indicated to me. Again, these are 2 offers. They're full price offers or better. They are all willing to take the property as is, with the exception of one party wants to have a risk assessment, which is understandable. Most offers would come in with some type of due diligence for risk assessment. They all were aware that there were other offers, and they all had a chance to up their offer if they wanted to, and they chose to stay pat as to where they were. If anyone has any questions, I'll answer those questions.
I do have one more thing that I would like to add, if possible, and to make sure that we're handing all of council as we're, as they're speaking. But one of the other things that I forgot to bring up was that there may be 3 offers on the table for council to consider tonight. But there are several things for council to consider with these offers. And obviously, you know, we're always looking for the highest price, but we also have to make sure that it's the most advantageous, or I can't include myself as we, I'm not a council person. Council needs to make sure that it's the most advantageous sale price going forward long-term. So while the 3rd offering does exceed the listing price by $5,000, it will not add significantly to the tax base at all. Questions for council to consider would be, if this is going to be private property, obviously the property owner would be subject to maintaining that parcel. But if it becomes at any time in the future something that is maybe down the road gifted back to the city, you have to be looking long-term, who would maintain that property going forward. And then it's very easy to look at just one small area of the city. And yes, we realize it impacts the neighbors in that neighborhood around that circle. But council needs to look at how it impacts the entire city of Lathrup Village. And looking long-term, again, staff's recommendation would be to accept an offer that would allow for development of that property, because that will add tax base to that property out there. And I did do a little bit of math in the interim. It is 1.93 acres, which is roughly 84,000, give or take, square feet. And if you divide that up, the requirements per lot size in the cluster housing that they have out there is a minimum of 9,000. So technically they could place 9 homes out there. Would you ever want that to happen? No. That's just the way the zoning ordinance would allow for cluster housing. I'm not advocating that because I don't think that that's a good use of that space out there. But definitely 3 homes, potentially 4 homes could fit in there quite nicely and still have quite a nice large parcel size out there. Again, the minimum square footage of a home that would be allowed out there is no less than 200,000 square feet.
2,000.
Or 2,000, thank you, 2,000 square feet. And our average tax collection on new builds going forward in that neighborhood are upwards of 10 to 15,000 a year. So you multiply that per home, that is additional income or tax revenue that could be used for other projects in the city. You know, so again, just giving you as much information as I can going forward, so that you as council can make a very well-informed and educated decision tonight.
Anyone like to make a motion?
Make a motion to accept the $155,000 offer. from Mr. Johnson.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, definitely. I'll answer the question about why I personally voted it down. I've been a Realtor for 18 years, a mortgage loan officer for 9. And just because someone offers the listing price doesn't mean a seller is obligated to take it. And I didn't believe that we received adequate documentation regarding proof of funds for that sale. So that was why I why I voted no last time. Also, the issue about gifting it back to the city and the city being responsible for it, that wasn't anywhere in the offers. So that, I'm not sure if we should be considering that. And also, the person who wants to build 4 to 6 houses, that doesn't meet our ordinances right now. So that isn't possible.
What ordinance doesn't it meet?
Hmm?
What ordinance doesn't it meet?
You could have up to 9 homes there
If
because
you said if it's a,
it is zoned cluster
It's R-
housing.
It's
That
currently zoned
section
R3
is,
cluster
or
housing.
currently.
it's zoned R1, isn't it?
No, it's R3.
R3, it is cluster
The
housing.
whole
that-
circle is R3.
Didn't the listing say R1?
The listings, now this would be my error, but the listing does say R1.
Okay.
I think initially I was told it was R1 to R3. Anything built on the property, any type of development would be subject to the building department approval. I don't think there should be any concern as if someone is going to develop the property because it is subject to building department approval. And any ultimate approval, I believe beyond that would be up to council. But, you know, if they're within the parameters of what can be built in the city, they should be able to get building department approval or ask for building department approval. I could be wrong on that, but I think the square footage for a 2-story home, I thought was 2,200.
It's-
For a
it's-
ranch, it's 1,800 square feet minimum.
It is 2,000. The first floor has to be a minimum of 1,000 if it's a 2-story,
Okay,
but otherwise it is a minimum of 2,000 in total.
okay. Again, whatever is built, anything being built has to have building department approval.
It does, but a lot of times there are exceptions given if, someone comes for special land use or for other things. It's not set in stone that what we see right now is what will.
Bear in mind, I think $155,000 offer, they have no plans. There are no plans indicated to me that it's going to be developed.
Oh, and we also did receive a petition from all of the neighbors in that circle, except for one of the homes. That they were in support of, where the Woods property be turned over to a developer would cause considerable loss of tranquility, and they would want to allow control of the property to remain in the hands of residents and keeping the community and the green space intact.
Well, I personally, I'm going to say that I'm not in favor of this. As we act as fiduciaries for the city, and section 12.1 of our charter indicates that we, when divesting land, that we should be trying to pick the offer that is most advantageous to the city. And while I would love to keep green space in the city, I don't think this is the most advantageous offer of the 3 to the city, given that the tax revenue that we will be gaining from an undeveloped property is relatively insignificant relative to putting even 1 to 3 homes. We're talking $10,000 to $15,000 in tax revenue per home. So if you're talking 1 to 3 homes, you're talking, $10 to $15 to $30 to $45,000 per year of tax revenue. So if we're looking out for the residents as a whole, all 4,100 residents, this would be great for, the 10 homes or the 9 homes on the circle, plus some of the surrounding areas to have that green space. But it doesn't do anything for the rest of the community. And as a very cash strapped community, because of what we're stuck with a lot of the state tax laws, I think it's short-sighted to go for an offer that's $5,000 more revenue now, versus the fact that we could be gaining, as I said, anywhere from $10,000 to $45,000 of revenue per year into perpetuity. And so really, I think we need to look out for the residents in total. I mean, that $45,000 a year can be put towards roads, it can be put towards parks, it could be existing parks, it can be put towards making improvements to our buildings, all the things that residents are asking for, more tree trimming, more tree planting, all of the things that we need to be doing. So, for those reasons, I'm not in favor of the $155,000 offer.
Well, as I said at the last meeting, there's no guarantee that anyone will build anything on that property, so.
Right, but we do have 2 offers who have indicated their intention to build on the property, and 1 offer who has indicated their intention not to build on the property. So,
But if we don't have any, one has funds, Pierce has funds to be able to build, one appears not to have, or we don't know. We don't have enough information on that to even know.
all we're required to know is that they have funds to purchase the property, and all 3 offers have ample funds to purchase the property.
John, did you get any additional information, any additional financial information from that second offer? More updated?
I did not get anything updated. I did ask for that. I have no reason to believe that the second offer has the funds. The funds that they showed us was significantly more.
And has the funds or doesn't have the funds?
Does have the funds. The second offer, the funds that he provided us was through the end of July. And it was significantly more than what was required to purchase the property. And it has been indicated, the only thing we have to be concerned about is that they have the funds to purchase the property. And for all we know, they may have other funds in other accounts. We don't know.
Right, but just thinking about the gas station. It's a whole other thing, but there was an issue of what was gonna happen with not having funds. 4 years later, here we are. I'm also supportive of this because it's residents. As I said, there's no guarantee that anything will be built there that will benefit other residents. A lot of people have said they like walking around that property. It's like being out in the country, and they appreciate it. And all the homeowners around there are supportive. And he has the funds, and he has proof of funds. Yeah, this is the highest offer.
But not the most advantageous to the city in the overall.
That's subjective. Green spaces at a minimum.
$45,000 a year that we could put towards other green space, improving it.
Right, and as I said earlier, we're losing 1.4 million in water loss that has
What-
not been addressed.
What does that have to do with the sale of the land? Nothing.
Okay.
Jalen, Barb, any thoughts?
I'm gonna vote no on the sale for 155. Just don't feel comfortable with losing the tax base, and also thinking about when we have to go into budget season. Just like when we went into budget season, it was crazy for no reason, and this could help us. So I'm gonna vote no for now.
Are we voting?
No, I'm asking, do you have any comments?
Oh, no, my comment is a resident has offered the highest bid, and You can't put a price on green space. It's invaluable.
Any other comments? All right, if there's no other comments, roll call, please.
Roll call, Councilmember Jennings,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
No.
Councilmember Canes,
Yes,
Councilmember Miller.
Yes,
Motion denied.
Are there any other motions?
Um,
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the full price offer of $150,000 and instruct the city attorney to coordinate and execute all documents needed to complete the sale.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? I'll start the discussion, just say what I said before. I believe that this offer is in the best interest of the city. For our charter, section 12.1, it's the most advantageous to the city as it provides significant tax revenue into perpetuity, desperately needed tax revenue, whereas the $155,000 offer, well, $5,000 more. On the surface seems like it is a higher number of $5,000, but 1 year of taxes will completely outpace that $5,000 and provide us with funds that we can provide all the city residents, not just the small group that are in that general area. So we can provide more services and maintain services and not lose services into the future.
Roll call.
Okay.
What? I said, are you gonna do a roll call?
No,
or
I
no?
haven't. It's still discussion.
Oh,
as I said, there's no guarantee that those houses will be built. Originally, there was supposed to be 3 more homes built on that property. That didn't ever happen. That was the plan, but that didn't happen. And so the property went back to the family and then eventually came to the city. So you will be paying taxes on it. It's not like it's a wash. Nothing will be coming in. And even by the time homes are built with supplies and all those kinds of things, we're not going to be collecting tax, not going to be collecting $45,000 in a year.
Oh, eventually. And I guess I have a question. So you say that there's no guarantee that there's going to be built. So should we stop all development in the city? Because there's everything that we approve from the planning commission, there's no guarantee that that's going to go through. So should we just not approve any new projects? I mean, it seems like a flawed argument to say that there's no guarantee that it's going to be built. I mean, you're right. There is no guarantee that they're going to be built, but they're purchasing this property to, they've indicated that they're going to put houses on there. And sure, anything could happen. We could have an economic downturn again, but,
I'm supporting residents. It isn't.
supporting a small group of residents, right?
People that are in their back, it's literally their backyard,
Right. Well, there literally was a house in the backyard.
right? One house, one
Right,
very
one
large
house. So it's not like this is anything new.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have your opinion on
Yeah,
mine?
exactly. Because we're discussing it.
Right.
Any other discussion? Okay, a roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Canes,
no,
Councilmember Miller,
No,
Councilmember Jennings,
yes.
motion denied.
Question for the city attorney. Do we need for when no's were voted, do we need a reason from each individual?
I think I know that Councilwoman Miller's expressed her position, and I think so is Councilwoman Canes.
Okay. All right, so motion does not pass.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
I do have one question before John leaves. Because this has come before council twice now, and not only did Mr. Rude do his duty according to his contract to bring in a full price offer in that was not accepted at the last meeting 2 weeks ago. And both offers that are, only 5,000 apart have failed tonight. According to his contract, if he presents a willing buyer, which he presented 3 to council, is the city liable to pay his commission at 155,000, 6% of that?
I believe it's limited to the asking price of the contract, but I will review it, and again, it's at his discretion if he intends to continue to both that position, but his intention to representation of the city, then I do believe that the city is obligated to fulfill that provision of his contract.
Okay, we'll move on to public comment. Thank you, John. So residents or not just resident attendees will have 3 minutes to talk about any issue, not just those that were on the agenda. Again, as a reminder, your opportunity to speak what's on your mind, and council will then have an opportunity any of the concerns or issues that they
Before public comment, Mayor Pro Tem, Ms. Holden Dunn had asked the question earlier if she could address things that were discussed on the agenda at this point. She is able to do that. It's just the initial public comment where they're limited. Only to the second portion is about anything.
So we'll go ahead and open it up for public comment. Right, Calder? Okay, go ahead.
My name is Lauren Barris, a resident. I want to thank Sue Montenegro for doing the meet and greet. And I was invited to a meet and greet and had the opportunity to meet you, and that was very nice. And I appreciate the fact that you reached out to us. On the last council meeting, I brought, and 10 or 12 of my guests brought to council's attention that Councilwoman Miller had eavesdropped and recorded residents that were invited to a meeting in my backyard. She did not reveal herself, but was called out from behind the bushes between my house and my neighbor's house, who subsequently threatened violence. This is a significant event, a traumatizing, significant event. That equally as significant was Councilwoman Miller's denial during council comments at the last council meeting, when she said it was under investigation with the Oakland County Sheriff's Department, so she shouldn't comment, but that she did comment and said, I don't know, just picture me hiding under some bushes, that couldn't happen. I've listened to it several times, and I was shocked all over again at her response, because it did happen. And I have 12 signed and notarized affidavits from witnesses swearing it's true. I'm not sure who'd give these to, but I would like council to see them along with the city attorney and the city administrator. Can I turn this in?
Thank you. Anyone else?
I do see one hand up on.
Yes, yes. This is
Go ahead,
Kathy
Kathy.
Mayfield. I have a few questions, well, just comments. As far as the house in the woods, I have another business partner and I were looking into the process of purchasing the property and adding 9 to 10 senior citizens one-story homes there, because this would allow the city to have people who still want to live in Lathrup Village have a smaller place to go to. And then it would allow 10 new families with children to come in to help the city, to grow the city. When we saw what was going on in the last couple of meetings, we decided not to pursue. There's a couple of things. One, if the person has shown that they have the funds, what, even as a mortgage company, when you're buying real estate, you do not give your financials to your realtor. You give your financial information to the mortgage company. And they say whether you're qualified or not. If these were all cash offers, then there shouldn't have been any question as far as what else they have. When you're buying a property, it was not stipulated in the original listing that they, if they had to show proof of funds, and they did, well, how their money was being spent coming in and out is not anybody's business but those people themselves. And then secondly, what we looked at was, even in doing something like this in the city, again, this would have brought additional revenues. That was one of the things we were thinking, but it could keep some residents still being able to live in the city, have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, nice home, because they liked the city and wanted to stay here. So those were the two major reasons. So after going through and listening to all that was going on, I discussed it with my business partner, and we decided, no, we would not go further with looking into doing this. And it just seems mighty funny too, because the property had been sitting there, I don't know how long. And then after, we approached to find out additional information. And then the next week, all of a sudden there's offers, and it had been sitting there with nothing happening on it. Oh, excuse me. The other thing is too, if the property, to me, when I drive over there, it just looks like it needs to be maintained. It does not look like a nature preserve. So even if it had gone, if you go with them having it as a nature preserve, is that how they're going to leave it? I don't think it looks very nice as even a nature preserve. You can't walk through it. And then if they decided that they wanted to gift it back to the city, then again, the city is going to be responsible for it again. So I just wanted to make those comments about the house in the woods. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mayfield. Any additional comments?
When you are elected, you're elected to do what's best for the city. And I'm thinking back to when Michigan first expanded, and there were very difficult decisions that were made at that time. And I don't live in that area, and so it did not affect me personally, but it did affect homes of people who were in that area whose homes didn't get bought by Michigan First, and the people whose homes did get purchased by Michigan First. And I think about that decision that was very difficult, but really helped out the city, and the decision that you guys have facing you, well, now, I don't know when, after tonight. But I hope that you'll make a decision that is right for all of the Lathrup Village residents. And I understand that, I live on Lathrup Boulevard, where there were supposed to be condos at 11 Southfield, 11 in Lathrup, and now they're apartment buildings, but something finally did get done. And I choose to give people the benefit of the doubt when they tell you what their plans are for their spaces. I guess I haven't been burned as often as maybe other people have, but I choose to give people the benefit of the doubt. And if they are saying that they would like to build homes, and that's what would be moving forward, that would be a significant amount of money in a cash strapped city. So those are just my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room or online? Online, if you'd like to speak in public comment, please use the raise your hand function in Zoom.
I did not see any additional raised.
Okay. All right, we'll go to mayor and council comments.
I just want to say there are going to be a few more town hall, there's Tuesdays coming up for the Southfield Public School bond proposal. September 27th, October 11th, and October 25th at 5:30 p.m. I tried to go to the district's website to see if I could get any more information about how you can join the online meetings, and I couldn't, so I'll see if they can make sure that that's available on the website. Also,
It was available on the calendar, because I tried to get into the one, not the last one, but the one before, and it gave an error. I mean, it said, even after the meeting started, it said waiting for meeting to start, and I sent an email to them to ask them about it, and I never heard back.
yeah, I checked the calendar today in a couple of other sections, and I
Wasn't on it.
to find information. I saw the signing info on Facebook, that was a lot of information. You already know. And then I was just wondering what the permit process looks like. I don't know if that's something that other residents are interested in knowing. I had applied for a permit, and then it says on BSNA online that waiting to be issued, but that's been for about a month. So I just wondered, what does it look like when a resident puts in a request for a permit, or one of their contractors does? What does that process look like?
Once it's been paid for, and if it was you, the homeowner, once it's paid for, and then if you did it online with BSNA, then you'll get it says, done, and you get a copy of the permit.
I paid for it. I did not get it. I got the one on mechanical, but I did not get the electrical. So I was just wondering, what are the steps? It's really great to be able to do it online. And
So you go online, you fill out and I apologize, I may skip some parts because I'm not from that side of it. So you go online, you fill out the application and all of that. Once that's done, once you hit submit, then I get the information of how much it costs and what it is that you're doing. I make sure that all of those fees are correct. And once the money is in, once it's been paid for, then you get a copy of the permit.
And is this work that a contractor has done for you? If it is a work that a contractor is doing, the contractor should be the one pulling the permit. It should not be the homeowner. If it's something that you're personally doing, you can do that, but otherwise your contractor needs to be pulling that permit.
it doesn't say that on my BSA online. I was able to do it on two different ones.
Your contractor should know that up front, though.
It's lawful for you to pull a permit. It's just suggested that you don't.
Right, because it's a way for you to be able to hold your contractor accountable through that process.
Right, but I could do it myself. Okay, and then as far as inspections, and I'm not just talking about myself, I know there's a few things. There was a swimming pool that was built, and there's not a fence around the pool, and it says that was applied for, but not, according to ordinances, the fence permit is supposed to be applied for at the same time as the pool before anything is dug. And it looks like there's some pieces that
So
are
the
missing in
building,
the process. Does that go to the building official?
that goes through the building official.
Okay.
So it is his responsibility to, once he does an inspection, to make sure that once the pool is dug, before it's even put in, that there's a fence there and that kind of thing. So
Okay. And that information, then is the building inspector that enters the information via BSA online when an inspection is done or if things are approved? Is that done?
yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Joe, Adam?
No comments.
Scott? Who? Okay, we'll take the motion to adjourn.
Okay.